I realized that I was carrying so much of what wasn't mine. And like through doing therapy, like I realized like, okay, that's not mine. That's not mine. Okay, this is mine. This is mine. So like, I think now, like, I just kind of like try to sit with myself if I'm like feeling an overwhelming amount of emotion and try to understand like, okay, whose is this? Like, is this mine? Does this need tending to, or should I give this back to like its rightful owner? Cause I do carry a lot of stuff. And I guess that just comes with like feeling guilty a lot. Like I hold a lot of guilt for things. I guess I've just been programmed over the years to like, I don't know, just carry a lot of shame and guilt and feel bad for decisions that I've made and stuff. And I'm sure that comes from somewhere. I don't know. That's because I have this need to like please people and make sure that everybody's okay. If I feel like in any way I contributed even the smallest amount to someone's pain or to saying no to somebody or hurting someone in any way, like it really, I spiral like at the thought of hurting anybody. And because of that, I just carry all this guilt. And then I carry guilt and shame for, like a huge part of it was like feeling guilty about having these negative emotions and feeling depressed and anxious when my life on paper is so wonderful. You know, there's a lot of shame that came with that. And like shame, I always say, is like such a pointless emotion, and guilt is such a pointless emotion because you can't do anything with it. It just kind of sits there and festers. There's no real use for it. You know, even anger and sadness, there's like some use for that, but guilt and shame is just a really bad emotion that you got to, you know, get out of your system, and like train yourself out of, but it's very hard to do. So I find myself carrying it a lot of the time for like reasons.
Really, if I'm using my own experience of what my lesson was and what I would do too much of, I was so afraid of being alone. And I realized that I was so afraid of not being chosen. And my lesson was I was supposed to be choosing myself.
Yeah.
So if I use that in this scenario, like the way that you are doing that for other people, the care that you have for other people is what you're supposed to be doing for yourself.
100%.
Yeah. And these people are all just showing you that. They're just showing you. They're your mirror to show you like you're carrying so much, you're here. They're just showing you this pattern over and over and over again. And really it's like for you to do for yourself. And so your inner child right now is like jumping through damn hula hoops right now. And it's like, yeah. Hi, that's me. That's me.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Going back to the same thing that I was saying, it's like, I always thought like, you know, people make me feel certain ways, or like, you know, nobody like gives me the same love that I give them. Like I'm always giving so much to people and they're always so selfish and they don't, you know, give me the same love back or the same courtesy back. And it's like, instead of thinking of it that way, just think of, well, why am I giving so much to them and not enough to myself? Like what these people are doing is giving themselves the love that I should be giving myself. You know, it's not like they should be giving me more love. I should be giving myself more love. So it's the same thing. That's another huge mirror for me. It's like nobody makes you feel certain ways, or like sometimes it's not other people's fault. It's just you need to readjust the way that you are living and what you're giving to yourself versus what you're giving to others, and like how much of that you want to give to either side, you know? So yeah, it ultimately was like my choice. And it's not a bad thing to, you know, sometimes like, especially as women, I feel like we put such a negative connotation on being selfish or on, you know, giving love to yourself and feeling confident in yourself. I feel like it's almost not allowed. And again, there's so much guilt and shame around doing things for yourself or feeling confident in yourself. You know, it's like we're supposed to like downplay our accomplishments and downplay compliments and stuff. And it's just a way that we've been like taught and raised. And I'm trying really consciously nowadays to not do that and to like accept compliments willingly and openly without shutting them down or without like, you know, turning it on its head with like a negative thing about myself,
or blowing it off in some way, or
you know,
it's so helpful to picture it like the way that something happens in interaction. You picture, okay, would I ever let them, like I'm allowing it for myself, which is the bullshit we do to ourselves, but I would never allow this for my inner child. The same thing comes in the other direction with the compliments. It's like, try and imagine it being told to your inner child. You'd be like, hell yeah, she's awesome. Or whatever it is, you know, that's a good way. Cause it's such a good way to bridge the gap between your higher self or your intuition, your inner child, is to pretend like it's separate, but it's not. And it sort of helps to close that gap in your heart between you and you.
100%. Yeah, totally. Totally. I feel like that's been so effective in healing that and healing her and healing me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure.